That question?
You don't have no answers.
So not long ago, right,
March
within the
30th,
last
it's a
month,
Sunday.
the stuff on those plaques over there was just awarded to the two men that you guys demoted.
Well,
Right?
I think that's what everybody,
30 years, right? Everybody that's been in this group, there's plenty of them that are 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Seriously?
I think what everybody wants to know is why.
Where's that no devotion?
Why?
Where is?
And then you talk about the safety of the kids, right? Kids, in this whole thing, the kids are what are number one, right?
They're
The safety,
well.
did you say that just a minute ago? Were there kids present in this building when you guys came in on Thursday night and you guys started getting into an argument between adults?
Well,
Yes or
there
no?
was.
Yes or no?
We did not get into an argument.
Yes
did.
or
There
no?
were
Was there
cadets
kids
here.
present?
There were
Was
cadets
there
here.
public
Yes,
in the
exactly.
building? Kids that were here to see what CAP is about, to see if they want to join, right?
Okay.
Okay? So you tell me, where's the safety that you're talking about?
Yeah, tell
What
us-
oath did you break?
Tell us the
Did you
why
break
this
the
is
oath?
happening. Why?
Did you break the oath?
Hey, let him speak, let him speak. Let him speak.
My son was traumatized when he got home. So when you sit there and tell at the beginning of your letter that there was no professionalism, that's not professionalism. There was no safety. There was no safety encounter. We had a dangerous storm coming through, and my kid, the only thing he could sit there and think of was what Plum did and all the little goons. I mean, this is ridiculous.
So here we have a whole bunch of adults, grown men and grown women, correct? Mature, grown up, in charge of things, right? And you guys decide to come here and do this with the senior members on a cadet meeting day. When really what should happen is, as mature people and leaders, you guys should have contacted them, come with whatever documents you needed to, if you haven't. I'm not sure that you do, right? On a separate day, with only adults, with
right.
only senior members, right?
Absolutely.
And then, none of this fiasco would be going on with the kids, right?
So we still don't know why.
Why?
A full direction of why has not been given yet. If you're coming with that, fantastic.
That's okay. I want everybody to be able to feel
But
like
we
they can
still
speak
need a
first.
full why.
Yeah.
Now, how you guys did it, we already can tell was completely incorrect at all. The how was wrong. We want to know the why right now.
Can you elaborate on the why?
I'm gonna get to that. Please allow me
Let's
to.
just do it right now.
Yeah, do it right.
Okay.
Skip that script.
Skip it.
Well,
Skip the
then-
script.
Okay,
Skip the
then
script.
I'll tell you right now, I cannot get into the
That is
complete details.
that is
The reason
exactly
why is
what
because
said.
it's a
Because
personal
you are
matter.
an
Because
equal,
why?
because you are an equal to the people
Personal
that we're
matter.
talking about, so you
Exactly.
can't. So you,
That's
if you
wrong.
have any authority over any of
Wrong.
this,
We can even
know.
see them.
if you don't, I don't know what you're doing here.
Let's
right?
have her
But
come up.
Plum-
She's got a rank. She's got rank. She can tell us why.
Yeah, she can.
She
and
can
so
tell us
could-
why.
And so could
Have
Plum.
them. I love your speech, sir, but I don't want to deal with the script right now.
Okay,
You
that's
tell us
fine.
why.
Okay, I am Lieutenant Colonel Richards.
Yes.
I'm the Deputy Commander for Nebraska Wing. I live out west.
Yeah, don't know what's going on, right?
Well, so I was appointed last June. And some of this, I was hearing little bits as I went along, but as far as the why, that's a personnel issue. And you know, that, you guys, well.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we
no,
can't
no,
talk
no.
about
No, you can't say
personnel.
that.
We- The personnel issue, it'd be just like if somebody walked in and said, "How come?"
Transparency,
Well-
mister.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Transparency.
I'm trying to be.
We entrust-
I have
Transparency,
to
where
respect
is
the-
it?
I have
So-
to respect
Where's the
privacy of people.
transparency?
We entrust
You have to
our kids.
respect it because you
to
don't
these-
have crap.
We entrust our kids to these people,
Right.
so we should be able to know if there's something going on that we need to know about as
Yeah, so you
parents.
keep saying a
We need to
personnel
know
issue.
about it.
Is
It
there
had
something
nothing
with
to
the
do with-
safety of the kids?
No,
No? If not an issue with the safety of the kids.
But we don't know you guys.
Okay,
Yeah, we
then
don't know
if
who you
that's
are.
the safety of the issue of the kids, tell me this, why did Plum take other kids on a plane he shouldn't have been taking them on? Now, that's a safety issue.
but that's not the issue.
That goes
here.
against the bylaws that you guys all
Hold
signed.
on. You say it's not the issue. What position is Plum in? Who showed up on Thursday?
Exactly.
Who showed up?
He's not here today, why is
Yeah,
that?
he knows
These
you.
guys
showed
are
up.
off the rails and you guys want us can trust our kids with these guys now. That's
So
not
he's
happening.
not here because we're all volunteers and we have work that comes into play. We have families that come into play. We have church that comes into play. And for him, this is a week that he could not be here because of work.
Then guess what? Another mistake and error by mature leaders. We should postpone this until
Absolutely.
Plum can be here.
Absolutely.
Because nobody right here can answer any questions.
Well, even if he's here, he's not gonna talk about personnel issues.
Well,
So
of course
nobody
not.
wants to
He's the
be,
issue.
nobody wants to be
Him and that
transparent.
gentleman right there are the issue.
Nobody wants to be transparent, Mahalski.
He started this and can't even speak up. He's got a woman speaking for him.
We can't even see, I don't know.
He's hiding behind the corner.
Come out, yeah, can we see?
Come on out, everybody wants to see you.
He's,
No,
Who is
I'm
he?
gonna call.
Who is he?
He's a sheep. He's not even a wolf. He don't even have enough cojones to be a wolf.
Is he retired military? Or civilian?
What's that got to do?
So I guess the biggest question really quick, okay, so you said it's a personnel issue, right? But you have the personnel issue, but it has nothing to do with the safety of the cadets.
No,
no.
Nothing at all.
No.
So it's a personnel issue between two internal personnel or two external personnel? What I mean is it a personnel issue between the leadership or a personnel, between the leadership and the parents? Can you tell us that?
oh, I don't think it has anything to do with parents.
Okay, so is it an internal fight between personnel?
I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to live out west.
Okay, well then if it doesn't have to do with the safety, look, if you guys are totally breaking your own rules that he's sitting there reading off, saying about the safety of the cadets, and you just said, no, it has nothing to do with the safety of the cadets. It has nothing to do with anything but personnel. So if it's got something to do with personnel, then y'all should have your own personnel meeting. Leave the people that are running this because they're doing a fabulous job. They've brought my child from being a quiet child that sits in his room playing video games to being a leader in this. That nobody thought he'd make it past a year in this program. Well, let me tell you something. My son has, and he's proved everybody that said he couldn't do it, including you guys in this room, wrong.
Has official documentation been given to the leadership here of any kind?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not, I do not have that
What
information.
are, okay, I'm gonna ask you a
why are
question.
you here?
What are we having a meeting about?
We're having a meeting here because I want to let you know,
With no answers.
nobody has been banned from the squadron. They are still members of this squadron. I still want to work with
Why are you
everybody.
running the
Isaac
squadron?
and Cameron are still welcome to come
Yes,
teach.
of course.
So you're gonna stand outside and let these kids actually work with their leaders?
Yes.
So
No
what-
one's banned.
Okay, my question is, what's your role then?
My role is just to make sure that the squadron are following the regulations, they know where to
Okay.
find them, things
So
like
what-
that. Just an
Were
operational thing.
regulations broken by our leaders?
Hold on. How long have you been in?
28 years?
How long has Cut's been in?
I think he's at
Over
48.
55,
55,
Okay.
yeah.
How long has the other Cut's been in?
55.
About the same.
How long has Piper been in?
We were cadets the same squadron, so about 96, 97.
Okay, what are you doing here?
I'm here
Who,
to,
do these guys need a babysitter?
they don't need a
Then
babysitter.
what are you doing?
I'm here to help them out with the SUI. I'm here to make
What's
sure
an
squadron.
SUI?
Who asked?
That's a squadron subordinate inspections, what that is. I've been asked to come to that to make sure everything's there. I've been asked to take over the squadron at this time. As far as the direct reasons, I do not privy to those. But I have been in the program. I have worked with
So
multiple
you're
cadets.
stuck in the middle, and the person that's doing this to our kids and our
So
leaders.
you don't even know the personnel issue?
At this
He's not
time,
even willing to stand here and.
Do you know what the personnel issue is?
at this time, no. But I
It sucks to
am.
be the middleman and left to hang from your leader, right?
And you gotta take all the brunt of all this because the city's not here.
The one in charge has multiple violations that have gone through the complaint chain against him. Safety violations, protocol violations, he's been banned from running academies in other states. That tells me that he should have been booted because he is not following those laws.
He didn't want to make this decision?
If he's the one making these decisions and
Holy
putting you
moly.
in charge, he's the
Duh.
one, I'm not, my fight is not against you.
No,
It is not against you. I will be a team player, and my daughter is passionate about this. And she is ranked up so fast because she is passionate about this.
Sure.
My fight is not with any of you,
Right.
but we want answers as parents. These are our children. This is not military. I get
Correct.
that we report to.
We
I
have-
understand that.
we have
I'm
elements
military
of it.
wife.
Yes, we
I
have
get
elements
that.
of it.
Unfortunately,
But
everything.
protocols have
is-
to be
right.
followed. And paper, there should be a paper trail. Where is this paper
Yeah,
trail?
where is
I
the
want,
documentation?
you don't have to tell.
I fill out a lot of papers when
I
my kid
don't
goes
care
to
to
camping.
see it, I just
I
wanna know,
yours.
has there been a
Yeah.
paper trail
Here's-
of infractions that warranted saying that they're not worthy of leading our kids, even though we, as parents, say that they are?
And I do understand that. I do understand that. Now, here's what I can tell you. I know the organization, they don't do spur of the moment type stuff like that. I assume, and I'm assuming, see, and I
The
don't,
answer we got last week is because I can. That was the reason.
okay, well, I don't want to interpret
That
it
was
as
not
that.
yours, but that's what the answer was. Why?
Well-
And the answer was because I can.
My
Really?
assumption, and again, this is my
It
assumption.
sucks being left.
Well,
left
I'm
to
just-
take the brunt of everything by your leader.
Being,
I run a department, right?
I do too, so I understand, yep.
I wouldn't let my guys go to this. by
So,
themselves without me,
but
'cause I'm the one.
I assume there's paperwork, I assume there's stuff there, I assume. Now, the first
You're
three letters
willing to
assume make
take
it
on this
donkey.
role, but you have
You're
no.
here on
reason-
assumptions then.
Not, no, I've been in the program a very long time. I've worked at many different echelons of the program, not just at the squadron level, but higher up as well.
Okay, well, here.
And there
here's
should
my
be,
question.
there's always documentation. Now, we may not always be privy to what that is, us here on the ground. And it's horrible. For lack of a better word, it's not good, I know. But I will have to assume, because I
I get
have
it.
trust in the
You gotta
program.
respect your authority,
I
but
res-
your authority right now is in hot water.
I
He's
understand.
under an FAA investigation that just finished, I get that's private.
Yeah.
But he's under he's got a multi-page list of things that he has done wrong.
Right.
Lives in Missouri, somehow is the wing commander of Nebraska.
Yeah,
He lives in Missouri.
Can't show up to the
I feel
first
bad for
parent
you
meeting.
because you are coming into this.
Believe it or not, I work in Iowa. I actually do CAP stuff in Iowa, so you can do
No,
this
this
stuff.
is not
Right,
fair
lives in
to you.
Missouri. Can't show up to the first parent meeting with a major change to answer
That
questions.
he's put in place.
Well, I'm sorry, I cannot answer, I cannot answer for the, I cannot answer for his stuff, because I cannot.
But you can report to him and say.
I
"We
can report to
expect
him,
another
and
meeting with him
that's,
present."
yes, that is my,
Temporary wing commander, right?
as far as I know, at this
that,
time.
That title changed real fast on your.
So why, so.
Oh, no,
so
no,
if
no.
you're Temporary
I
wing
put it
The
in-
commander.
interim is not spelled that way, by the way.
Well,
But
that's,
we'll-
so,
Temporary wing
That means something
commander,
totally different.
temporary wing commander, and then
Deputy Commander.
makes any kind of big.
Are you
moves, right?
aware, I mean, were you aware of RTJ?
Okay, so I've been in for 32 years. I knew Colonel Plum was the previous wing commander when they asked for applications, and higher ups decided way back, I don't know, 2010 or something like that, that there was no, maybe there was no applications, I don't remember what, but anyhow, region and national was okay with him coming up. He did not apply for the job, they asked him to come up and be wing commander in Nebraska years ago. He served these 4 years. And then they asked him to come back and fill in as an interim, and things went on. I do want to address the Flight Academy director. He was not removed. National made a change. Every 3 years, they want a new director for the academies. And he'd done it for like 19 years or so. And I have worked with him all of those years at the academy. So he was not removed because of anything. They just said that there was lots of people wanting to be directors. There was lots of people wanting to be directors, so they said 3 years max. So he asked me if I would step up, because I had been the assistant deputy director for quite a few years. I've been in this building, I've sat 2 weeks for years over in that hangar. Anyhow, but so I've been here. I like Fremont. This is a wonderful building. It had air conditioning compared to the hangar. But I have been here with him. I have worked with him. So when the position for he needed a deputy commander, he'd ask me, and I was like, well, I guess if he thinks I'm qualified to do this, you know, cause sometimes people can see in you what you can't see for yourself. And so I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. I was newly retired from teaching, so I took it on, and, you know, I haven't served quite a year yet. But he did not get removed because of anything like that. National changed it. They also changed the rule for, wing commanders. It used to be 4 years, now it's 3 years. Because they can get a few more people
So
into
is
that
it normal
position.
policy for a temporary commander to come in and just create waves like this and make a mess of it?
I do know there was communication with
Cover the
the
bases.
region and national.
But
But I
nothing.
But was there
don't know.
communication with the
Communicated
squadron?
down the
Like,
squadron
that's,
to-
I
that's
don't
the
know.
problem
If
here.
there were actions that needed corrected, they were blindsided by this. Okay, there's a few things, but everybody's got a few things. I mean, we all do. I work in a company too. I have my one-on-ones with my boss. We gotta fix things, right? But where's the paper trail that led up to this? You don't just lose your position for nothing. Especially in a volunteer organization. We're not talking money involved here. And speaking of money though,
Yeah,
where is the
now.
money?
Yeah.
Because we have a cadet that her deadline is due to pay her fees, that she is one of very few that has been accepted to go to this officer training school. She is our leader right now. She is our highest ranking cadet here. And she's earned her Mitchell Award, and they're refusing to pay right now. They cut their cards. So here Isaac's ready to pay her fee with this money that the community has donated to this scholarship program for her.
So I
My
can answer
family
that.
And it needs paid or she ain't gonna be able to go.
I got an answer. So one of the things National had told Nebraska was, you've got too many credit cards out. You know, if they're not using it, they need to turn them back in. And so, like, I'm a member of Sandhills Flight out in Valentine. So my commander wasn't using it, and he said, I don't need it, I'll turn it in. I've had people call up and say, I need to buy something on a credit card. So we can do that, and I just fill out the form and I say it's, you know, comes out of like Sandhills account or the public affairs account. There's a form and I can fill it out and I can use my credit card. So if there's an issue that something needs to be paid, you know, it can be taken care of. It's still their money, your money.
Can you, I mean, you as the interim commander,
Yes.
and you now as the deputy wing commander, can you get this taken
Yes,
care of?
in fact,
Like
this is
you
why I
do?
wanted this
Yeah.
meeting, is so I can address things.
But I
and
want
proceed.
to ask you,
Not
I know,
sure.
you can like,
I do know Paula.
Well, so when a commander steps down and stuff, you know, even in a business, you take care of
How are we gonna
it.
get these scholarships taken
That's what
care
they're
of?
talking
That's
about
just
right
what I said.
now.
That's
We
what
can get that taken care of.
My son said they related on gas for over a year and he kept on submitting it, they wouldn't even pay it. Then we tried to pay, for $200, he's supposed to get reimbursed for that, and that's been a year and a half. And they wouldn't even pay it every time he submitted it.
So I got caught last year on the Fight Academy. We went to Cane's Chicken for something different, and I pulled out my own credit card and paid.
That would
And
get all
because
my
it
son's
wasn't
own pocket.
approved, I got to pay it. It was like $250-some that came out of my pocket. Because I pulled out my own credit card, and I did not get it approved ahead of time. So National says it's up to them to decide if they're gonna pay it, and they're like, too bad. So I donated, it was a good meal, I'm okay with that.
So before you leave, can we get in touch with you so you
Yes.
have a paper?
Yes, and
Because for scholarship money.
yes, I wanna make sure that, because there's a lot of activities happening very quickly.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, in fact, I'm involved in an encampment at this time myself.
Fees that are due.
Yeah, I know.
Here's another elephant in the room question though. You said the personnel issue had nothing to do with the safety of the cadet. You said the personnel issue had nothing to do with the leadership of this squadron, correct?
I don't know.
That's what came out of, I got a recorder, you know,
Okay.
so that's what came out of your mouth. So if it's not the leadership here is the personnel issue, if it's not the safety of the cadets, if the personnel issue is the wing commander, the plums issue, is that why? I mean, is it, to me, it sounds like a hostile takeover. If your personnel issue is not with the leadership, what's going on here? Where's that personnel
Boy,
issue?
you guys are not doing very good.
That's fine.
guys are
That's
Not
beyond.
only that.
You know you're on
she
the wrong
said
side. You know you're
they're-
wrong.
For wing
you're
banks and all that, it's to get changed every 3 to 4 years. Well, as far as I know, Plum's been doing his position for more than just voluntary. He's been doing this, it's been voted in, and it's not been switched out. Now, I would think with the man that's got all this going against him, with the airline and all this against him, what is he still doing working with you guys? If he's the problem, he's the one putting these children in danger, why is he still here? You're breaking your own code and your own rules to keep a man here that does not need to be here, because he is the safety issue of all wings, not just here, not just Omaha, period. He is the safety issue all around. And as far as I'm concerned, my child will never go near him for any airplane with his credibility of messing up and having this all stacked against him. He shouldn't even be holding position in any office with this allegations and stuff being investigated on this man. He should not be holding office in wings, period.
Well,
Can you comment on that?
Well, there are 8 pilots at the Nebraska's flight, or North Central's flight academy. So if he wants to go to the flight academy in Nebraska because it's closed, he just says, I don't want to fly with that guy. Because there's 7 other pilots.
That's
He
not
is
answering my
actually not-
question.
We talk about the
As-
credibility of safety.
As far as that goes, I can't comment on that. I don't know about that situation, so I cannot comment on that. I don't know if she knows anything about that. I don't know if she comments on
Okay.
that.
But if one of our leaders, if Greg was to do something to put our children in jeopardy, I guarantee that man would have been out this door as soon as an investigation would have hit from the
And that's
FAA.
exactly what happens. There's
Okay,
actually
so-
protocols we do.
No, you don't, because Plum is still in his position in office to come do what he did.
And as from what I've already heard, he was under an FAA investigation, and that is closing out, and that's a matter of public.
And
Oh, it is
literally,
closed.
this all started coming about.
Okay, well, I don't know how it got started or anything, because I'm not involved in I don't like flying, believe it or not.
It's a private investigation,
So-
we're not gonna know what the results are, but it's just seems
Okay.
kinda convenient that that closes and this started.
I don't want it to be that way.
You talk about respect, you talk about integrity, you talk about excellence, these are core values. I mean, we've got volunteers, we got
Yes.
people in the community that know our kids volunteers. So we've
Yes.
already covered that one. But you're trying to come in, and you come into a community event that these kids put on. Okay, now I'm gonna finish, because this is what initiated me saying, we're having a parent meeting. So I apologize right now, because like I said, I will be a powerful team
Please,
player.
please.
But right now, I'm on the wrong side of this field for you. When I have a cadet coming home, just almost in tears, I'm sorry, she's 12, even though she has, gotten, I don't know how many, she's fifth highest ranking one here, okay? She has worked her butt off. She is so distraught over what happened last Thursday. This is a community event, okay? So we have an open house that we have invited the community into. They've invited their friends and their parents to come in so that they can showcase, you can see the tables, showcase what they're doing. I walked in and these cadets that were shy little turtles are standing up and they're proud. And this is after they took charge and they did exactly what they were trained to do during a tornado hail storm system, and they took charge and got people to safety and shelter. They didn't let it affect them because they've been trained to handle that. Whereas, prior to this, my daughter probably would have been bawling in the basement scared, because the 21-year-old I know was practically laying on her. I mean,
Okay.
she has overcome these fears because she has been trained to handle things and trained to overcome things. They come back in here, you would never have known that they just went through that fear. Some of these kids have just found out their homes were completely destroyed and their cars are completely destroyed because of that system. You would never have known it. They did not let it affect them. They continue to shine in here, only to turn around. And at the end of the night, you talk about respect and integrity, but you go and dump that bomb on these leaders with cadets present. That should not have ever happened. That's the mama bear and me coming out, because that was so wrong to do that in front of the presence of children. Because I know they're cadets, I know they're ranking them, I know that they can overcome adversity, but that was wrong. And if you want to be their leader, You just showed them that you can't handle that, because you should have said, no, this is not the time, this is not the place.
Were you here that night?
I was here that night,
Were you
and
here that night? Okay, come out here. We wanna see you. I'm
Not
sorry, you
wrong
stand there
time.
or you come out.
I had that discussion with Colonel Plum. I did have that discussion, because we learned about the open house 2 hours before it actually happened.
Well, that just
But
goes,
that's
Already,
Please
hold
let me
on.
finish. Please let me
I
finish.
will, but
Therefore,
that should have been where you stopped.
You should have stopped.
right.
That's where it stopped.
Okay,
And you
please,
expect those kids to have
That's where it
respect for you
stopped.
now?
please, allow me to finish.
It isn't your kid that is upset, right? It isn't your kid that is feeling this, right?
I unfortunately do not have any children, okay?
It's obvious.
But I
Sorry.
do,
Because of how you
I
handled that with
do
kids,
run,
sorry.
I do,
That was
my
wrong.
nieces are in this program, okay? I may not have my own children in here, unfortunately. So we'll touch this up, I apologize if I get a little emotional about it, okay? It's okay. Nobody new here, I apologize. But my nieces, my oldest niece is in the program. My 2 nieces are getting ready to go into the program, and I will bend over backwards and fight the
How
whole.
would you have handled it if your kids were here doing something fun that night? 3
Yep.
people came in, I came in, you 3 were just sitting over here, you were not interacting, you're about to become a Fremont commander and you're not gonna interact with the Fremont community?
Hey, Plum, you want me to come and take over this squadron? I have to earn all the parents.
Yes,
all the
that is
kids'
part of this.
respect. Plum, we need to
Wrong
leave.
time.
You lost a lot of respect that
Wrong
night.
time.
Well,
We need to
again,
leave, Plum.
How would you?
I was
That's
told
fine.
that this is the date I was already told this was the date, this is what I was told, this is what I followed what it was, and I said, okay, and I have to trust in my leaders as well, that,
But this is a
You have to
volunteer
trust
program.
in your
Volunteer.
leaders.
You knew it was wrong.
You
You
were
knew
not-
that it
My-
went against all your
and I
rules.
voiced my
When-
concerns.
Even in the military.
Yes,
they
and
have-
even there, I would have voiced my concerns, and I voiced my
Did
concerns.
you know it
Now,
was wrong?
Then you should have stayed home.
but,
What I know is the meeting was concluded.
Ferguson, that's not
But-
a question.
But
That's
was
not a
there
question.
children in this
I'm
building?
gonna answer the question. What I know is the meeting was concluded. The
The paper.
The open
partition.
house.
the partition was closed because the meeting was over.
yes, me too.
These are,
Be mature,
That is exactly what happened.
be mature.
I was out there with the cadets and they were sitting there scared. What do you guys see here?
Actually, we weren't yelling, actually, so,
You guys know.
that's your number.
yeah, we
We were
can.
hoping to have an actual
Okay.
discussion.
You guys know the cadet staff's names and their ranks?
Yes, in fact, I've worked with
Each
the
one
Bell.
of them, do
I
you?
work with the Bell.
Okay,
I worked with him at CAC. He's an outstanding cadet. He's also working at the Iowa encampment.
His rank is.
He's a staff sergeant. He's actually gonna be a first sergeant at the encampment. One of the most important jobs. He's the communications between the upper staff and the upper line staff and the lower line staff. He's also going to be in charge of the with the other first sergeant from the other squadron. He's also going to be there. Also, another cadet that recognized me from a previous encampment was there. He's like, I know you. You're Colonel M. Yes. I can't think it off the top of my
There's
head.
one standing here the entire
There's
night,
more than one.
right around.
There's a lot of
the front. What was her name?
I didn't get to meet everybody. And yes,
Right here, all night.
I only got to meet a few. I got to meet as many people as I
Why,
could.
why
One
didn't
of
you,
three
if
that-
you,
three or four that was in-
you were already under the understanding that you were gonna take over the squadron, yes? or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, stop. Yes, you were under the understanding. You're here, you know that there's a big event going on. I'm gonna finish. You know there's a big event going on. There's a lot of parents here. There's all the cadets here. There are people coming down here to check out CAP, to see if I wanna join or not. You're here, you're gonna take over. One thing that I would do other than just say, well,
Schmooze.
we should leave,
You didn't do a single
is
thing. You sat there looking pissed that you.
go and check in with the kids. You don't gotta say who you are. You don't gotta say
But
what
I
you're
did.
doing.
I checked in with them. I'm not.
But you
kidding.
can just, hey kids, right?
And that's what it is. When I saw them, in fact, one of the parents, unfortunately, I wanted to, because unfortunately, I don't get to interact with the cadets from Fremont that
But
often.
you could have that night.
And I tried as much as I could.
okay, why was it so bad that it almost ended up in a fist fight? And don't tell me it didn't, because I've been told by more than one cadet, by more than one person that was here, that it was a screaming match and almost a fist fight. Now, you wanna talk about safety and you wanna lead our kids? You ain't leading my kid when it comes to that, if you guys can't act grown up enough to not even come knowing what you guys were coming to do on an open house night. You said yourself just 5 minutes ago, we knew 2 hours ahead of time. Well, then you should have said, you know what? Let's wait until after they have their open house.
That's what we waited for.
But they were still.
You shouldn't have came here, period. You should have did it the next day. Called and set it up a meeting with just the staff.
Or at least
With
5
just
minutes, I know,
the,
they were
You
still-
obviously didn't do your due diligence, and you didn't make sure the building was empty of children.
so that's putting our children at harm when you guys are starting arguing.
You are taking over the squadron.
You are
I'm sick
responsible.
and tired of hearing about Plum said,
What if your
right?
nieces, what if your nieces in this room?
Leading these
What if your
kids.
nieces were some of the kids?
And I'd have to have a conversation with them, and that's what we would
We
do.
have had conversations, but the disappointing thing is that the leadership in this squadron is the leadership that our kids have come to trust and respect.
They're mentors.
And
The
love.
leadership that you guys showed last week has wrecked all of that. You will not have respect or morale
We
or any
actually
sort of
encouraged more
culture.
respect for our leaders, so that actually
True.
hurt your cause.
You
I
got,
think your leadership,
you got me arguing with my boy,
And then also on
because I
that,
don't know what this is about, right? And he's protecting these guys so much, but he's arguing with his own dad about it, right?
And not only that, you guys ain't gonna get no respect from these kids when you guys are the adults. You are grown men, adults. Should not have been arguing in front of these kids. Those kids respect Greg, Miss Vaughn,
Yep.
and all of them. Piper, all of them.
Yep.
This just ain't a squadron. This is a family.
Similar
And you
as-
guys have burnt your bridge already with these kids on becoming a family with these kids. Because you guys showed your rear ends that night on open house.
Without the kids, there is no squadron.
That's right.
Is that the goal?
Fremont,
That's the
Fremont
goal.
will
So
feel that.
what, all three
Look,
of you
look at
here
the
that
Fremont
night?
Tribune.
No.
Facebook page, you'll see how much they contribute.
What do
to
you
the
say to
community.
these parents? You should be apologizing to them.
pretty
And
much,
you should apologize to those kids.
pretty much. She's
If
exactly
you
right.
treated
And I'm
them
a
like
neutral
that,
person.
they expect it out of respect. The first thing you did in this whole thing, you started this moral code.
Exactly, right off the
I'm
bat.
sorry, I'm just an observer, I'm
Yeah.
very much a, these
You need
kids
to retire.
are
You need
important to our
just
group
leave.
that we work with. But what
probably
I've
need to
seen,
retire.
you two, you hide in that corner, you won't even show your
disgusting.
You're
face.
embarrassing.
And you
all
started
three of
this
you
whole
need to-
thing.
You all three need to.
You started
You
it,
need to
not this man.
apologize.
You and
I
Plum
resign.
started it. I'm pointing
Yeah.
fingers
I resign.
because I'm a man. I will stand up for all these kids in this
These
squadron.
kids are wonderful. They come to, we are in charge of Woodcliff veterans. These kids have come out to our fish fry and
Tons of
helped
Friday
us.
nights.
They show Omaha what Fremont is. I can't even tell you how many compliments we get over those kids. They're like, where did you find these wonderful children? I said, Fremont. We don't fight. And she goes, we're from Omaha. There's nothing like that in Omaha.
So
And
if I,
then you guys are from wherever, and then you
Valentine.
ruin these kids in one single hour.
You have a whole squadron of senior members that are questioning whether they're gonna continue.
And I understand that.
Cadets
No, you
questioning
don't.
whether they're
So
gonna.
I don't think so. I don't think you do, because the tenure, right?
You can resign your
Who has
position
the
tonight.
experience that you're
Read
gonna
those
lose?
keys right
I
there.
honestly don't think you
Do
have
the right
the
thing.
ability to run this.
Exactly.
The way you took over that night, and you didn't have the guts to say, we should not do this.
Exactly.
You didn't
I-
have the,
I would
you
advise
didn't have
you
the guts,
to
and
take
now
that
you wanna,
resign.
you
Is the
wanna
goal to break
take
this up so
over?
you guys can
There's
take over
no
this
way it
building?
should
happen.
Is that the goal?
No,
Because
that
you
is
have
not
the building?
it. That is not it at all.
As far as everybody
No.
here, as far as I can tell, what everybody's saying is you ain't no leader. I'm sorry, but you're not a leader.
That's
A leader
the-
makes
that's the
good
right-
choices, a leader makes examples.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
I'm thinking
That's
you
fine.
need to resign and you need to find someone that can face these kids. Because I don't think you can do it or he can do it, because you've already shown them a whole
I'm not
different
even
side
sure
of
what
what
he's
they
gonna
need
do.
to see.
What are you doing?
And they add on what Mary
What
said,
is
we
your-
have
what is your
qualified people
position?
take over.
What is your position
And
that
that's,
you have to do?
again, part of the plan is to see if someone from Fremont would like to learn the ropes and to become part of the leadership. And so we can show them all the ropes out to being
Do
commander,
you
deputy
really wanna
commander.
come in and actually lead this cadet squadron knowing that you've got this many people?
You have a whole squadron of senior members that aren't sure if they're gonna continue.
I guess.
You have a squadron of cadets that don't know if they're going to. What are you gonna do about it?
Where's your deputy commander? How come he's
I
not?
believe he's across with other members
No, our
at this
people are
time.
back in here.
Are they back in here? Okay.
They're all here.
I think
You can invite them up here.
they're being hung out to dry.
Yeah, invite them all up there, so they all can introduce themselves.
Sure, and that's my intention. Sir, can you get Oppenheim for me, please, sir? Thank you.
I do want to say one thing, I don't have any kids. I have a cadet programs, master. No, but I love cadet program. So I think, to say I don't like the way that happened last Thursday.
Thank you. At least
No,
somebody's
I'm
doing
saying,
it.
don't
The
say that
one-
I don't like this, so therefore I'm quitting and my kids are quitting.
No.
The kids program is so amazing, the cadet program
We're
is so
gonna work
amazing,
with-
we need to,
I've already
like
told
you
my
said,
daughter,
they
we will
just
find a way to
blossom.
make it work.
And I've seen that happen. I met Isaac at an encampment. I might have been in 2 encampments with him. And, I relied on him. I might have been a senior member, but I relied on his knowledge of customs and courtesies. And then we ended up going to the UK together on the International Cadet Exchange Program. And
But now he's
and he would, I still meet him and stuff. We talk about, what he does for his job and stuff. I like Isaac. And I think he, for the cadet program, that's good.
He puts
But
kids
stay,
first.
yeah, and he can still come back and work. I mean, he's not eliminated.
Well, that's
So,
not what
but-
everybody's being told.
Right.
He was
No
told,
positions.
you come in and told
Yeah.
him to turn in his keys.
Yeah.
You
So
treated-
how's that not being
Well,
told to get out? You're done.
I don't know how many people in the squadron actually have keys, so, do you just give them out there? I don't know that part of it. I just know that the cadet program is something that it does amazing things for those kids. Like you said, that you come in and they're not doing anything. They
the
won't
whole
look at you in the
purpose.
eye.
The Civil Air Patrol isn't anything that it started out as, right? The Civil Air Patrol now is just,
This is
it's
the
based on
longest
building
standing
kids.
civil air
It's based on
patrol building in the state of
building
Nebraska.
So I got a question
And
for you.
then-
You said you're the interim commander,
Right, my
So-
goal is to have someone else from Fremont
So
come.
is it a potential
Oh, see, that's
that
the
the
first time
current
we're hearing that,
leadership
though.
could come back into
That's
the commander?
that's a possibility. In fact, I encourage it. In fact, I've been trying to get a hold,
Okay,
so we can do things.
Why don't we just leave the people we got in charge then?
Because that's not what the other leadership
Okay,
wanted,
but this is the
and,
first we're
But you can
hearing,
be
that you are
alongside 'em.
temporary to try and encourage somebody else to step up.
right, no,
Why
that's,
was that not the start of that conversation? Is that, hey, we're gonna ask you to step down, not we're demanding, we're asking you to step down because we wanna put somebody else in. Because we wanna put somebody in that's gonna follow whatever policy and protocol that you think he broke.
well,
Because we still haven't heard anything that Cameron and Isaac have done. And I know that you can't do that. That you can tell us, yes, there were infractions, yes, there was paperwork.
He doesn't know.
Okay? That's that.
They don't know. None of them know.
Because there's
I've talked to every single one of them. Nobody knows.
that unfortunately, I don't have that information.
I talked to every single one of these officers. Nobody
As
knows
the
what's going
interim-
on. Nobody knows what's going on.
You don't have any of that information, but you were told to be here.
Yes, your email. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself as your new squadron.
2 emails later, all of a sudden it's interim.
Well, it's interim because I need to have time to place the goal was all
Because
interim.
when we do wrong,
No, it's always been the plan. Unfortunately, I also, like most of the other senior members here,
So it-
have
so-
other irons in the fire. And
this happens with the kids here, right?
kids would be handling this very
Okay,
different.
yeah, it would be, I
This
mean,
is just a
this
temporary
whole entire
change.
thing would be totally different. That's the core of
We're
it
gonna
right
put
now,
one of your other
really.
leaders
Is that the
because
kids
love
were here.
respect into
The
that.
thing is, I don't know if it's gonna be 3 months, 6 months, I don't know. So I kept my email as commander, just to show that commander at this time. Putting the plan together, I said this should only be temporary from the very get-go. I said this should only be temporary. I assume this is only gonna be temporary.
What if this all would have been handled different, right? What if you would have stood up when you got here on Thursday night? You guys were like, it's not even just a cadet meeting, right? It's open house to the public, right? So,
Yep, and the idea was to wait for.
and no, you and you, right? Both of you guys can make that decision. Even if Plum says otherwise, right? You guys can still make a decision. Especially if you're supposed to take over and have respect from us as parents, and from the kids, and from the other senior members, right? So it could have started out there. You guys could have called a meeting with just the senior members amongst each other, with no kids here, no nothing. You guys could have explained everything in a sit-down meeting, right? Just with adults. And then the senior members that are currently here, since they know us and they know all the kids, they could probably buffer you guys and help you out. And they could tell us what's going on, a little bit anyway. And then they could introduce you guys. And then things could be a lot different right now.
Of everybody up here, who took the order from Plum to relieve our leadership?
But she does not respect how you handle this.
No, I did not take the relief.
Who
That was
personally talked to
done-
Plum to remove the leadership?
I have no idea. if
You
it
have
was
no
him.
idea.
The only thing I can tell you is if he did it, it was probably either orders from above him, is my guess at the
So you
regional.
never heard anything, right? Yes or no?
I only follow the orders at Colonel Plum, because I'm not,
Did Colonel Plum tell you to remove leadership?
no, that's not in my
No,
place to
did
remove
Colonel Plum
leadership.
tell you?
He's not in my direct
Why
command.
is it
Did
that
Colonel
people
Plum tell you? Hang on, wait. Did Colonel Plum tell anybody up here to remove leadership?
Hey, real quick, Region had no idea this.
Then
was
why
happening.
is leadership removed if nobody was told?
Region had no idea this happened.
Answer this. Sir,
Not even
answer
answer.
that question to me. Nobody up here was told by Plum to remove leadership, so why did they remove our leadership? Then leadership got changed. Then leadership
So,
got
I'll tell you something about my team, right? My number twos know what I'm doing.
Well,
Did anybody speak
My
with
number
Plum to
twos know what
remove
I'm
leadership?
doing.
so one of the things we
In
need to look
here,
at.
addressing cadets, part of the safety, right? Two senior members all the time know what's going on.
So one of the things
If
we
I was
need to
number
look
one,
at
number
is,
two would know.
if he's the interim, then I work with a lot of the new squadron commanders that are coming in. And a lot of them, they go to the meeting and they walk home and it's like, I was appointed commander, and they have no idea. So it really
That's
works
appointed
much.
role, not
So are you
removed.
saying that our
No,
commanders know what they're doing?
But they're not trained, so they come in and they don't know what they're gonna do. So if he's interim, and if anybody here
Plum probably
would
isn't
like to
trained either
be
because he's interim,
be
right?
considered for the new commander, then you should maybe get a hold of him and say,
Okay, so
what do
what's
I
the
need to
protocol?
know
What do they
for
need
that,
to do?
to do that?
Because
Take-
we have several people that would probably step up
Yeah.
and take that role
But
immediately.
from my point of view, working with new commanders, a lot of times they're totally lost. They're like, okay, I've got this position, now I have to appoint a finance committee, I have to do an inventory between changes of
We don't have
command.
time.
But this doesn't even matter. Why?
I know, but all that needs to be done, so if they're prepared to take over, it makes it a lot smoother for the entire unit. So
We already
if
have
there's
that in place,
people,
and we have one of the best
Yeah.
command programs at the squadron. What's gonna happen under this command? Because I know that we're the only business squadron that have a ground team that holds Pathfinder for cadets.
That starts
They've had multiple saves.
well, that can still happen.
Can it though? Because why isn't it going on the rest of the state under Wayne's direction?
remove it.
What's going to happen
All this
now?
other stuff's kind of great. but
Why are
who
you
has the
guys thinking
authority?
We're not-
So,
Who has the
a couple
authority?
things real quick.
Who did he
I
tell?
wanna make sure
He
that
didn't tell him, right?
the
He said no.
leadership
They all
is
said
done,
no. So if that's
we're right
true,
now. done and
Then
the
leadership hasn't
bell
been
that
changed.
need to go to this.
Does that make sense, or am I wrong?
Yes, that is.
That's what I'm trying to hear the conversation
Like,
for.
Yes,
we can do that
that is
tonight.
gonna be taken care of
Okay.
tonight, that's why I needed some
Okay,
people here to
because
get
here's
that
the reason
going.
why, because, my organizations are one of a big donor to this AAP program, and I'm telling you, I don't like this. And I don't wanna stop those donations coming in.
Sure.
I don't wanna stop our benefit from raising that money to give money to you
Right.
guys, but right now, it's
Okay.
looking.
I
pretty
understand.
Question.
And then there, one more thing, I can get every single finances of money that we've given here, and it better be earmarked for what we asked it to be earmarked.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have yet to meet with the finance committee yet here, no one's responded yet to
He's
me,
hanging with cadets right now,
which is cool.
to keep them from being here.
That's fine.
This is not fair to
So,
them.
and I said, and that's the other thing, I wanna meet with each and every squadron member. Like I said, I have not changed anything. In fact, all the duty positions are still the same. Everything is still the same. I have not made any changes.
Except our trusted leaders.
Except for, I did not change that. I don't have that authority to change that.
Oh, but strong back there, I heard that.
New leadership is put in place. Why was that not presented to our senior members so that they can decide who's gonna step up? Because we have people that are more than happy to step up into that role and know exactly what to expect.
Or at least did.
Why were they not given an
Boy, this plum
opportunity?
guy, I never met him.
And why wasn't regional national had any acknowledgement
As
of
far
this?
as I know, Region was aware of this, as far as I know.
But they weren't.
No, they were not.
He just
Who
said,
said they
How do
were
you know
aware?
that?
Who is telling you that they were made aware?
They're not, they weren't aware.
Region had no.
Because
Well,
we
I
talked to have not
Don't know
been
who you
anywhere.
talked to, but, I do understand that Region is aware of what's going on, so,
Recently?
Yeah, because
so.
it just got put all over the news.
Yeah.
So that makes you guys look
On
dumb.
TV.
That's fine.
I'm sure they knew about it.
That's fine. I, unfortunately not
But
at the
anyhow,
regional
if
level.
somebody is interested in the position,
Yes,
and it could be more than one, because, you know, you could be a commander, a deputy
Why
commander.
can't we keep the current?
Piper interested?
What are,
I don't
why can't we
know.
have them, what are they in trouble for?
Tweet, start
Okay.
have that
If
information.
they're not in trouble, then why are we treating them as if they are?
I don't have the particulars on that.
Number
And
two.
that's, so why are you following up with this? It should be a moral thing.
He's not gonna.
You
because
do know something, but you just don't wanna say
Yeah.
even a little bit of anything.
She is number two.
Can't
If
wipe.
anybody would know anything here, right now, she should be the one.
And I just have a
she
question.
already said she doesn't.
Mary said,
So,
So, yeah,
all you
that's,
gentlemen that
so
keep,
actually
you
more
know,
of
you're
a-
gonna be, you're in charge or whatever.
If she don't
How
even
often
know.
do you come into a squadron and do this?
I think it's a power play.
How often does
It's,
this happen?
it's actually done, actually more often than you know.
Okay.
The 99th Squadron was that way, when Montgomery was the only person there. It was done, I believe, Omaha had it done to them, a few years ago.
So when you guys go in
Or
and do something like
So-
this,
You
so are
replace
there,
them with people from their squadron, not from
Outside.
outside.
No, actually, no. No, the 99th Pursuit Squad.
Replaced, Pineda, right? And he was from that squadron.
okay, so you say you go in there and do this often,
I wouldn't say off.
I wouldn't say often, but
but you've done it before.
we have done it before, yes.
Okay, so are you following the same
Yeah, procedure.
procedure that you did on all those other ones as you did to this one?
Did you go to a
Open
cadet
house?
meeting with the open house and do it?
Well,
So that would probably
Did you
be
go to-
dependent on
Did-
who the
Did
commander
you
was
go
at the
to a
time.
cadet meeting, open house and do it?
I mean, I would think that in your organizations, you guys would have a set of rules. You have a set of conduct, you have a set of guidelines to have this happen. And I think that maybe you guys didn't do any of those in the way it should have been done.
I'm telling you right now, earlier, we already talked about how as a leader and coming in and trying to earn everybody's respect,
This is kind of way to do it.
she has, there was kind of an apology, kind of a remorse. I don't agree with how things have been. You, sir,
have not.
have
No.
not.
And-
Scapegoat.
no.
You should,
I listen to what Plum said.
you need to turn your card in.
Mr. Quiet
Wait,
over
stop.
here that
You're
does have no
gone.
voice that was here,
You
doesn't want to
resigned.
say anything.
You're resigned.
Sorry, parents.
Well,
They've gotta live with
We
these.
messed up.
I mean,
I
mistakes
didn't get to
happen,
finish,
right?
but,
Sorry,
Comes up
parents.
with a
We
script.
messed up.
no, I don't come up with
Sorry,
scripts. I have a
senior
hard
members,
time
we
with
messed up.
motions and things like that, so I have to script everything out. I have,
I agree. As a parent, that, I agree.
I do. I do care about this program, I do care about your cadets, okay? And I do apologize the way it happened. We were on the assumption the open house was done. We were just having the meeting with just the adults because we wanted to see Piper and Graham here. We wanted to see them both and have that conversation in the other building, in the conference room. Okay? As far as what transpired, yes, I'm sorry the way it went down. We were on the impression the meeting was over. We were on the impression people were leaving, and we were just said, hey, we just need the seniors in here because we're looking for leadership.
But
she did make sure the kids were gone.
And you know that there were kids here.
You're saying that you're under the impression that no kids are in here.
I was,
Okay, so-
unfortunately, the thing was shut.
Right.
I was under the impression they were done because one of the senior members slammed the thing shut, so I assumed they were gone.
Why would you shut this?
I
Common
didn't. I
sense
wanted it
tells
open.
me something here.
They shut it. I assumed
I'm
it was
an
still
adult.
Mhm.
Common sense tells me if there's only adults in the room, I don't gotta shut this.
And I wanted it open, just open.
Common sense tells me
But that's okay.
if I am assuming nobody else is in the building, there would be no reason anybody would shut this.
Well, we didn't shut it. The leadership.
Common sense, sir.
You know,
Maybe our leadership was trying to protect the kids.
That's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm getting at. Common sense tells me if somebody closes the door, somebody else is out here, and I don't want them to hear it.
well, I've pretty much said everything I can say at this point, I feel. And I apologize if you feel that you're not getting the correct answers you want.
Because it's our kids that we're talking about.
I know.
I don't care about you, and I don't care about you guys that much, right? I appreciate you guys volunteering and helping everybody. But the whole core of the whole thing is to protect kids. It says it right at the top of the thing.
I know.
And you guys didn't do that. You guys could have done it by simply saying they got a meeting going on, and it ain't even just a regular meeting. The public is here. They're trying to recruit people. There's kids here. Let's come back and do this the right way.
So you already made a mistake, you already owned up to it. Here's my question. I'm already hearing from people, you're gonna lose leadership, you're gonna lose cadets. Okay, now that you're the interim commander, how are you gonna fix all that?
What's your plan?
Yeah, how are you gonna fix all that?
Well, I still have yet to have a meeting with the seniors yet.
So why do any of this if you have no plan of action? That's kind of like shooting the horse and saying, let's figure out what we're gonna do with the body later. Have a plan. You're gonna mess up everybody's lives and these children and upset the whole town. Why not come in with a fight and a plan? Game plan. Game plan. You don't go on a mission
Leadership comes in with
without
a
a
plan.
plan.
Leadership comes in with
You
a
don't
plan.
take a flight, just go, woo! No, you have a flight plan, you have steps and procedures. Why aren't you following it?
I'm getting to that.
We teach
Well,
them to be
sometime
leaders.
today,
You
please.
guys need to be leaders.
I'm allowing you guys to speak your mind. Okay, I want you to be able to speak and not feel like I'm trampling over you. Okay?
No, you did that last.
So if you're ready
The
to,
floor now. Everybody be quiet.
so, yeah, if we've kind of addressed what we can address and the rest of it, I mean, we're not getting anywhere. So if you wanna explain how we're gonna move forward with Fremont, go for it. Just so you know, I'm the academy director this year, so I will be here in Fremont for 2 weeks, this last half of June, if anybody wants to stop by and visit. Hopefully by then everything's smooth and everything's running great and, but I will be here in June.
I see it this way, bottom line, I see it this way. Somebody got vinegar poured in their Wheaties, didn't like the fact that Fremont is the top out of all of Nebraska, and so your Wheaties got vinegar. You guys got to destroy some kids' life because the leadership here is what made them the top flight, the top of wings, CAP, and somebody doesn't like it. That's all it is. It's two grown-ups that can't get along like 2-year-old kids. Y'all need diapers and bottles? I'll go to the store and buy some right now. Because this is ridiculous.
Well, I love the analogy of the vinegar and the Wheaties. I'd never heard that before, but.
What's your plan?
What's the plan?
What's the plan?
Plan.
Let's hear it.
First, there are 3 things that need to be completed here first, okay? 1, you have an SUI coming up very shortly. My goal is to meet with each and every one of the members and be able to go through and make sure we have everything in place. The reason why is because the last SUI that came through, and you might as well know, I have the paperwork for that. I can pull it up on my computer. I don't have it with me, but I can pull it up. The last SUI, we have a thing called a finding. Now, my assumption is those findings have been fixed, is my assumption. But we have to go through those. Now, the problem is if they have a second finding in the same place, there was a finding in each one of their operations, okay? Each one of the categories we have to follow, there were discrepancies. This one, if they're the same discrepancies, they get a failed mark and the unit gets shut down until it is fixed. This just happened with the Offutt Squadron. They are now off that suspension because they fixed what they had to fix. My goal is to have that so there are no issues, okay? That is my goal, okay? That is number one. Number two, inventory with it. Yes, inventory is a big thing. That's where a lot of our assets go. Your money, well, even though some of your guys' money is earmarked for certain things, which is awesome, some money goes to buying objects, possessions, things like that that the squadron can use. That's where some of the money also goes to. Am I correct on this, sir? Or any sirs?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, to keep with that, I want to make sure that we have an inventory that's accurate, secured, and all the stuff is in the same spot, locked where it needs to go. So, no, I'm just saying those are the things that I'm trying to accomplish right now. I'm not saying that's why they were removed. I'm saying that is my goals that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, okay? Or next few weeks.
Yeah, so what about the kids?
The cadet program is... Let me get to the cadet. I'm not there yet. There's a lot of facets of CAP. There are a lot, and those of you who've been around know that. As far as the cadet program goes, I have not moved anybody from the cadet programs, okay? To my understanding. The only two positions, the only two things that have been changed is commander and deputy commander. Now, as far as anything else, everything is the same as far as that goes. That's why I want to meet with them, and I want to be able to go, yep, here's cadet programs, you're doing great, let's just keep that going. I have a rule when I talk with cadets, and the cadets that have been with me before, I have a rule of 3. And some of you who've worked with me before know, I have the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? What's good about the squadron? Let's keep it going. What's bad about the squadron? Let's just get it fixed. What's ugly? Let's not ever do that again. Some of you remember that from when you were cadets. Well, those of you who were cadets before. And I don't want to touch the cadet program. If it's running smoothly and everything's working, we're not going to change it. I don't want to change that. I want the people still involved. That's what I want. Now, will that happen? No. In a perfect world, yes. I understand that you're going to have decisions to make, and I understand that. I'm not here to force you to stay. I'm not here to force you to go. You are the parents. You have to make the decisions that are right for you and your children. Okay? I have no say-so in that. The only thing I have a say-so in is, this is my plan. This is what we need to get done. I don't want to change things that aren't broken. And I want to make...
Sorry,
okay.
my face is usually inside voice.
Okay, that's fine. You can laugh at me all you want. You can do whatever you want to me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's fine. It's your prerogative, okay?
Work with our current leadership.
Yes, I'm willing to work with...
Reinstated.
Well, I don't know about that, okay? But I'm going to work with anybody who's willing to work with me, okay?
Reinstated senior member.
I don't have...
Is it cool if I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
So what you're explaining to us sounds a lot like stuff that I believe our current leadership that we had is perfectly competent to do. So explain to me how they're not competent enough to do that.
I can't answer that question.
Why not? Can you, ma'am?
Because
okay, so this is where I have a problem. Okay, like for instance, I want to mention this. Okay,
sure.
You remember at Nebraska Wing Encampment, you helped me get a position as a squadron chief.
Yes.
Okay. The commander, the cadet commander, and the deputy commander of that encampment decided I wasn't good enough. You wanted to know why, and you found reason. And you put me in that position.
I did.
You gave me opportunity.
Because I saw something in you and I knew you could do it.
Exactly. I see something in them. I'm demanding an answer now. It's a sin.
I know. I do not physically have that answer. I'm going to put that answer up to you.
But you work with them. You know, it's same and same. You know, like I'm expecting exactly what you preach.
I know.
Can I suggest something? Because obviously we're going nowhere tonight. So
Ferguson knows. I think Ferguson knows.
What I'm asking, is, because those of you that know what's going on, respect us enough as parents, respect these cadets enough as parents to have a meeting together, come up with some answers for us, because right now we're not getting answers, we're getting the runaround. And tell us what we need to do to get our leaders back into whatever role they were in, and so that our cadets can come back in here. If you wanna be a part of this program, that's fine, but it needs to be handled different, and we're getting nowhere here tonight.
That's why I said there's not much more we can talk about right now, because I don't have everything.
So why come to this meeting with nothing?
Because.
So I have one, so really quick, so really quick, the public information officer, I just want to hear from Ferguson, come up from Ferguson, I just want to ask you one question, yes or no? Do you know why Piper and our leadership was released?
We don't need to
You
know.
know, nobody
We just wanna know, do you know?
He said no. You have no idea.
Because they were told to by.
Right,
No. So this is my question, if none of these people were told by, well, why was leadership even removed?
Yeah,
Exactly.
why would
If they're all saying no,
Why
why
would
is
you even be
leadership
here if you
removed?
have no reason? If you're given no reason, so you're
They
just
don't-
gonna go to a mission. I
Exactly.
don't have the reason of why I'm doing this, I'm just gonna be a da-da-da and go in here and do it.
So what I find is what she just said, if none of you were told, why did this happen? And to add on to that, can we have the keys back to the building?
Not at this time.
Why is that? Because you took our keys.
They were entrusted.
By who?
Why? Who
By
did
who?
that?
Civil Air Patrol and the authority of the airport authority that owns the lease.
No. We talked to the airport, so we know what you said. Try again, say it again.
That's exactly what
Say
I
it
said.
again. We moved forward.
What did you
Yeah.
tell the airport authority?
Yeah.
Who? Give me a name.
What did you tell the?
Yeah, what did
I
you
didn't
say?
tell the airport authority anything. I met with the nice young lady. Unfortunately, I don't have her card on me directly. Again, I'm not very good with
Joe, what did you say to her?
What did you tell us?
She actually came in with us and met with us, actually.
What did you say to her?
Oh, she just said she likes the program, and as far as me talking to her, I just said, yeah, I'm just happen to be the new commander.
Oh,
that was
I
it.
know exactly
There
what you
wasn't
said. You
much
said,
involved.
I'm the new commander and need keys. You didn't say.
No,
She
no.
did. Yeah.
No, that's not what took place. And if you notice, the keys have not been changed to this building.
No, we're not talking about this, we're talking about that.
That building was changed, yes.
So what was that
Under aviation,
conversation?
it was because we were controlling CAP assets that were bought with Air Force funds. That's all. That's what it's there
funds
for.
that we raised.
No,
No, I'm stopping you right there,
Okay.
because I know for a fact, through Dave Proctor, my father,
Yep.
that had put his sweat and blood into these buildings
Mhm.
to get this going, and we have had a huge community put things together to make money to put into this account that you guys right now have froze.
There was plenty of
That,
assets over there
that those
that are not
people cannot
Air
get
Force
their
funds.
cadets to make their payment to, so they can go do their thing. That's what our money that we raised hard, and it takes a whole year to put together for these guys to go do their thing.
And I'm going to address that to make sure that
When?
is taken care of. Tonight.
But the
I
thing
have-
is if we don't get answers soon, all of the people, all of these companies that put money into this are gonna ask for that money back, so we can put it into the other veteran affairs that go on in this town. Because this town is huge on veterans.
My husband is the finance officer here. He has been trained by Steve. How can he get the funds to pay these things? That's what I wanna know.
Well, I actually have the director of wing finance here as well. This is why I wanted to,
Right, but
this is
would you
why.
like to share numbers tonight so that you can talk, whatever that is?
That's me.
Because he's trying to figure out how to help get these things done.
And I wanna make
He
sure
wants
that
to
there's.
follow
He-
it, right.
he got
He's-
some- he
He's
got-
new to this, our daughter is new to this,
Okay.
and nothing about this screams right to me.
He got an email from Rebecca today with some forms that he requested. My email was attached with that. If he contacts me via email, I will be happy.
What's your name?
Steve Oppenheim.
Okay.
I'll be happy to tell him how to get the funds.
Thank you, we've
And
both been at work today.
to get those kids paid for their encampments and COS, that's not a problem, it can be done.
So we get those forms filled out.
It can be done.
Yes.
Okay, then, what's the
It
turnaround
takes no
to
time
make
at all.
sure those payments are getting done?
Once it goes to him, he can go ahead and get that authorized, get that out of the way, get that done. Okay, because that's why he's here,
It's
yes.
quick.
It's not a two-week.
No,
It is
no,
not a
it's,
two-week thing.
no.
When I found Officer Doug and Bell, they already had everything done, just like the money wasn't there. Wasn't that the case?
There's money in the Fremont account for
It is
whatever they
well,
want to use
see,
it for.
But it's accessible by the Fremont, so.
Yes.
It is.
I tried to use the credit card to pay for it, and I could not.
The credit card that was here was
So that I was
canceled.
Yes, how is it accessible? I thought you said it was frozen.
Yeah.
Not canceled.
It,
The
it's
credit card was canceled.
zero credit limit on it. Because the commander was relieved. The new commander, I don't know that.
How come you guys
Why didn't
had
you come
a
in
week
then?
to find out the answers that you knew we were gonna ask, and you came here to say, I don't know? That's really what I really wanna know. Like, how could you just feel okay about stepping in here and going, I don't know? And you knew what we were gonna ask.
You know what this feels like to me? I'm a mom of 7, ages 16 to 1 year. And I come in the kitchen and I go, who got into the cookie jar? And all of a sudden, this new resident in my house comes in called, I don't know. And I don't know uses a lot of laundry and a lot of electricity and eats a lot of groceries. So, now you guys are the I don't know residents. Figure it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I just maybe answer your question?
Well, we've been waiting for that all night.
So, when I arrived here, it was our understanding that Colonel Plum was gonna be here virtually because he's out of town traveling for work.
Dismissing other folks.
At 5 minutes till 7, he sent me a message and said that headquarters does not want him to join the meeting tonight.
Lying.
That is-
I know this
that is
answer.
what-
I don't know. He came in, caused havoc, and then went off to Texas for 2 weeks
But that
and
is-
avoided this.
that
That
is-
was really piss poor planning.
I'm just relaying what I was told.
Regardless,
But
you
why aren't
are
they
all
being
winning,
responsible
you should
way
know
up?
the answers.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go into a mission and into battle and just go, well, I was told to come in here and kick everybody out, but I'm not gonna give a reason why.
Okay,
Wouldn't
you
the
guys just
higher
said, the money that this gentleman's company has put into here, the community that has put the money, that's not your guys' credit card. So where is that money? This is money that this man put in, and
Those are main cards, and as you said, I will confirm with my husband.
Anytime,
If those truly are in my husband's email, then we will get it done. I will agree to that. I will make sure that Eric gets that done tomorrow at the latest, it's late now.
to answer your question, sir, anytime money is collected by the Civil Air Patrol, it is put into a wing bank account. Okay? So that money goes into a bank account for the individual squadron or whatever.
But it is earmarked Fremont, and it's not.
It is earmarked Fremont. It doesn't go anywhere else, but Fremont has the ability to use that money.
okay, well then how come their card is
Because,
not usable?
because
She's Fremont. So that's.
May I answer the question, sir? Because the commander was relieved and the card was put to a zero balance.
Okay, so then he took the money then.
He did not take the money.
Just the card was shut off.
The card was shut off, that's all. That does not mean that the Fremont Squadron does not have access to the money to use as the Fremont Squadron
That right
wants
there is
to.
proper protocol. I get that.
Yes, ma'am.
The protocol that we don't understand is why this leadership was pulled in the first place, and none of you have an answer. So, it's 8:15, okay, we got one more question, but at this point, I'm gonna ask you as a parent to ask all these parents to be here tonight before those emails went out to reschedule. I mean, like, and we need
When we have
with
answers.
answers.
with answers, not
And
I
Plum
don't know.
here. And I want to know,
So-
what is your plan of attack for leadership? Who are you gonna put in? If you've got leadership spots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, who are you putting in there?
Because we have
And how
people
are they
that
vetted?
We have people ready to step up, but they were not even told this was happening. This should have happened with our senior members, should have been pulled in a meeting, not at an open house, and said, hey, we need somebody to step up, and here's what's going on. Who's willing to step up? If you need to take over for a little tiny bit, that's fine, but this was not handled well. And you have to agree as adults that either have nieces or have worked with children or have children of your own, that this was not the proper time and place. And that's the thing, I think that's one of the things that started the heat with all of us. And we've all had a chance to just stir up our other anger right now. But what initiated it was our kids come home and you ruined their fun night. They were able to turn a horrible situation of some of their fellow cadets' homes are literally destroyed right now. And they were able to shine that night. These kids stood up and they were so excited to share the Civil Air Patrol. They're sharing their code of ethics. They're talking about the program. They're getting excited about it. They're getting fellow people excited about it. There's people in the community I had to tell, don't bring them tonight. We got a meeting tonight, and they're like, "Oh, why?" I was like, "Oh, we just have a parent meeting, so we're covering your butts right now, okay?"
I've got
Because
3
they wanted
cadets
to
here
go.
who are recruiting. 3 cadets who are recruiting to their
We had
whole youth.
family in Blair that I had to say, "Don't come tonight," because it's a parent meeting. We just, it's a standard thing. We just kind of do a parent meeting. We do a senior meeting. Okay, so I'm lying to these people so that we can try and get some answers. Because these potential cadets are excited about this program, and they're gonna come in, and they're gonna see they're gonna hear it. I'm
I'll
sorry,
be
we can
damned if I
tell.
subject another kid to this shit store.
So,
There's not enough baby wipes for them.
and we're trying to protect our community from learning what's going on, and the community doesn't need to know this.
I have recruited 4 pilots to come here. They have filled out all their paperwork to help train these cadets. And I called him. He didn't know what was going on because Mary, I was at the open house. That's what he saw at the open house. 4 qualified pilots that are willing to give their time to this organization. But you guys almost ruined it. Hopefully I can keep them coming. So with the way you took it on, you screwed it up.
So can we agree that you guys would get together with Plum, get together with your regional, national? We need a meeting with answers.
No,
Because
Plum
everybody's
needs to be here to answer.
Who asked Plum to be
So-
here tonight? Did anybody?
Everyone
Everybody
in the
personally on the phone to be here tonight.
Yes.
I've
Write that
personally
down.
sent you and him.
He was requested by a lot of people to be here tonight.
Yeah.
And
I
that
get
shows,
it.
that
I
shows
get
the
it.
leadership from the very top down.
And you're volunteers, I get it, you can't jeopardize your careers to keep your roof over your head, I get it. But we could have said, we're gonna have a time and a place,
This doesn't
here's
keep
when
a
we're
roof
gonna
over
come.
anybody's head.
Huh?
This doesn't keep a roof over anybody's head.
No.
Their day job.
So
can you guys commit to that, to have the
So-
next
Yes,
meeting?
You should have said, hey, this
And
is
will
when
somebody
we
be
can all
here
get
with
together.
answers?
Yes, it might be a couple of weeks.
And that's fine.
And if you're fine with that,
Doesn't matter. You still put money into it.
that's why I said it might be a couple of weeks.
That's right.
Okay.
Plum here.
I'm gonna
To
take
answer
your, I'm gonna
for
take your
his
request up. I'm gonna do that. Let me at least do that for you, okay? Can I at least do
And whoever
that?
he's reported to that knew that this was coming, we would like them here to explain why they thought it was okay to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I will try to get those answers for you. I will try to get those answers for
You
you.
got our email.
I
address.
do. Well, actually, I just pulled it from the
Have
unit,
them-
so.
have whoever called for this to happen, have them send out an email to the
Yep,
parents.
that's,
Let's see it from them.
and I'll
We'll
take
see
those
who-
right
we'll
up
see-
to,
We'll see who called it out.
okay.
So
I'm
we're
gonna take that and I'm gonna bring it up.
But if we don't see something,
Just keep in mind, because Plum is out for 2 weeks because he's in Texas, like I came in from Des Moines today. I was literally in Des Moines today this morning.
Can we agree
So-
to hopefully keep, I get it, you don't know his work schedule.
Yeah, I don't, just like he doesn't know mine.
Can we aim for middle of May?
Yeah, I think that might be doable,
We can send a request.
yes,
So
so,
we're, so we can keep our current senior staff here, do life as normal, because we've got kids, we've got one working towards this Mitchell.
No.
We've got other cadets that are this
Yeah.
close to, I mean, they're testing with
Like I
honors,
said.
not just testing.
Yeah.
But we have a whole room full of seniors up here that have no idea what's going on in their own wing. And you wanna come into our squadron where we know what's going on and take over our children? That makes no sense whatsoever. You all work together. You came into our building with Plum last week. You knew what the story was. Why won't you just say it? That's the thing. You don't answer for it. Why would you let Plum?
He said he did not know.
Yeah, that's a lie. Because why would you let
Because
him
there is-
desert you up there?
Because there's heat right now,
You
and
don't
for
have no
your
plan.
sake, because if you are going to be in charge, our cadets right now are struggling to respect the role that you are in. And we're trying to teach them to respect people.
That's why
okay?
they're not here.
Takes a lifetime to do it and one
Can we
moment to
please
ruin
have
it.
just a few weeks of just normal cadet life with our seniors until you can actually come back with another parent meeting? Because from what I understand, you don't have to be here on a Thursday night.
Well-
Just because you are interim commander does not mean that you have to be here to shed darkness on these kids needing to continue to learn and grow.
Well, I'd still like to continue with the plan with the SUI, everything of that nature, if I
And
could.
that's fine, but you could do that with the cadet, or without the cadets, right?
We need
You
to
can
get
do
them
that
back
not
to
on a
some
Thursday
normalcy,
night,
let's
right?
get
That's
the
right.
cadets,
You
so
don't
if
need,
they
you
don't have
don't need
that,
to
they
be on a
ain't gonna,
Thursday
they're
night when
not
they
gonna
have their
come.
normal learning, right?
And you might as well
And
forget it.
I'm not doing this because I don't want you to be a part of their life. If we can come to an agreement, you can see, this is a powerful group of people, and if we can figure out a way to welcome you in and allow, we will cheer you on with our kids too. But we're struggling with that right now because we don't have answers.
Leaders learn too.
And it's
so
gonna be, and we can go home and tell
hopefully
our
you guys are
kids, go
leading from
respect
what
them all
happened
you
here.
want,
Right.
but they're smart. And they're gonna be like, well, why? Well, we're supposed to tell them, I don't know.
Right.
So I know you want to join, I know you wanna be a part of this, I know you wanna continue to see Fremont succeed, or you wouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be sitting here taking the attacks, sorry.
No,
We're
it's,
trying to
I
keep-
understand.
keep
I
going.
know, I understand.
Until we can have that next meeting of no cadets and parents, or have your meeting with seniors and they can relay it to us, that's fine too. With Plum, with people that can kind of help keep the peace. Can we
So
come
next
to an
Thursday is the
agreement
30th.
as parents that we can just call it quits tonight because we're not
We're,
getting
yeah, we're
anywhere?
obviously, we're not
We're not
going
getting
anywhere,
anywhere.
but yes,
We can go back to all
so,
we want.
First, is that the first? So
Part
next
of-
Thursday,
part
the
of-
first, we're gonna have our
Hold on.
senior members in here leading our kids.
that's fine.
Life is normal.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. And that's why, okay, that, there have been no changes for the locks or anything. I expect there'd still be, cadets be able to do the
Building
thing.
locks
Yeah,
have changed?
yeah, those got changed.
Okay, well, some of them go over there and.
Yep, and those will-
Uniform pieces.
I know.
There's communication things.
Yes,
these
there
kids
is.
are learning, so if they
Yep.
can't
How do we get
access it-
access to that
I will,
next weekend?
I will be here for that. In fact, as a lot of people yelled at me last Thursday about being that they had stuff going on at 5 a.m. I came in at 5 a.m. Friday, stayed here until 7:10.
We were already doing all our guard.
Yeah, and I was already here, so, and nobody showed up, so,
Well, we already did them.
okay. So,
Talked by the mayor and city.
sure. But yes, I will be here. As part of being the commander is that you have to be here for the meetings. That is part of it. I will be more than
You
happy to
don't
let
have to be. You got seniors members.
That's
I
why you
understand
have
that.
senior members to delegate for you.
I understand that.
But right now, I think he needs to be here.
For what reason?
Well, just if he's the interim commander,
Can we figure out a way to
First
calm the
meeting,
waters
he
for
should
our
be
cadets
here.
First?
Before you're here, can we figure out how to comment for our kids before you just come back in?
Sure.
Because if they see you next Thursday,
They're-
they already have a bad taste in the mouth. You're already the cherry medicine in their mouth, and they don't want the cherry medicine quite yet.
No, I'm sorry. That's unfortunately sometimes the burden of the commander. I have to be here for things like this. So
Then can you be a silent part in the back?
I'll be more than happy to observe if that's what you want me to do. I just need to be here just for that reason. I'll
All
be
right,
here
then
to
you just
observe.
sit in the back.
And as long as I can still continue to do things I need to do because it's a meeting night,
Can
that
we
type of
agree
thing.
as an adult with nieces that you love and adore, if there's any kind of tension going on, that you will walk out?
No, I don't think I'll walk out, but I will be more than happy to move to a different area if you would like me to.
Whatever it is, but away from cadets.
That's fine.
Because it should not happen.
My
Can you
hope
go
is
to the
that.
other building?
I can do that if you want me to.
That would be great.
But I would love to be able to see how the meetings
And
ran.
that's
I'd love to
fine.
see it, and I'd love to see that. Now, I don't need to get
As a
involved with
bystander,
that.
because these
Exactly.
kids need to be able to.
Right.
If
They
you're
need to
coming in-
they need to be able to see me. They need to be able to
I'm
say, I'll
trying to
be
help my
here.
daughter be able
Yeah.
to
They need to see me
to
just.
appreciate you like the rest, and if you just
Right.
come in and take over and
No.
say, hey, I'm running the
And
show,"
that's just it.
then
For
that's
those
not
of you who
gonna
don't know me, my leadership style is not go in there, let's wreck everything, okay? That's not, I've never been like.
We have senior members that show up, you know, that
Exactly.
can't see her every once in a while.
Exactly.
Some kids only know him as a face that stands here. in the
Exactly. So I would like to be that face until they're more comfortable with me. Now, some of the cadets already know me. Some, not all, but some do know me. And if I can be that little person in the back, and if they want to come up and say hi, please, I encourage it, you know?
And our senior
And I
members
think-
that are here agree to keep it civil, so he can just be in the background.
Because that's, yeah, because I'm not here, I don't want to hinder anything. That's the last thing I want to do. And to be honest with you, I've helped cadets go from, to where they used to just wear the CAP cutouts. I don't know if those of you are new ones. And they've gone all the way up to spots cadets, okay? I've had 6 spots cadets from all over the state, a couple different states. And that's, you know, isn't that the goal of every cadet that starts? To learn all that stuff as they go up?
Are you not gonna retaliate at all from us being vocal?
No, that's your
From all
right.
that?
That is your
You know,
right.
Speaking that?
No, that's your
Sometimes
right.
mine, If
No.
a senior says something, or then you sitting there.
Well, no, it's your right. You have the right to do that. Well, I appreciate that you don't yell at me directly, but I understand, and it's, you know, you have that right to do that. Just like if someone crossed me in the wrong way, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight tooth and nail, I'm sure. I have actually, I've gotten in trouble a few times.
So the game plan is this, we're gonna continue
Yes.
as normal with our regular senior members that
Correct.
have always been here, that we
Yes.
love and trust.
Yes.
And you are gonna get your little posse together
Yes.
and see whose tails are covering what up and get the truth out. And get us some names and actual reasons, X, Y, Z, in written form from whoever chopped cheese you need, and you're gonna come to us parents and tell us.
I'm gonna submit all of that
Again, there's
to.
protocols.
There's protocol, yes, thank
I
you.
love
Okay.
protocol policies.
You can't
Yes.
share it all, but those protocols and those policies and those bylaws and that constitution should allow you, because you're dealing with minor children, to be able to divulge some information.
And that's why I'm gonna
That's
get those
what we're
answers.
asking for.
I'm gonna try and get those answers,
Because I
unfortunately.
would say if one of our
From
trusted
the
senior
authority to do
members
what he
did
did.
something wrong, as a parent, I wanna know what it is. I love some of these people, and
Sure.
I see them at Walmart, I invite them to my adoption parties, over to my house for barbecues. But if they did something wrong, I need to know about it. So that's why we're all here. If they
Exactly.
did something so egregious that in the exact instant they needed to be removed, there's probably cause for that, but I need to know that
When,
cause.
where, and how it happened
That was
has
so
us
wrong.
angry, and we're not getting answers.
Right.
So go find out who I don't know is, and come back and let us know.
And yes, I'm gonna submit all those questions, to the higher ups, everything I got here, and I will submit that up. Would you like a, email to the parents? Well, no, I get that. Would you like an email when I submit that information?
Yes, we would.
Okay. It'll be kind of a quick email saying I've submitted your questions, I'll put in what questions I'm asking, and I'll go from there, okay? Okay, that's.
Can you say to who?
Yeah, I'm gonna send them up to Colonel Plum and follow the chain of command that I have to follow.
I would like to know that chain of command.
If you disagree with them and you're trying to
I would
work
like
with
all
us.
their details.
Well, I'm trying to work with you because I'm here, I'm on the operational level. You guys are on the operational level here. You're the boots on the ground. I'm trying to work with you, I'm trying to make a situation I don't know a lot about, and I'm trying to do the best I can to make everything try to work. As I said, the cadet program, I shouldn't have to deal with the cadet program at all. There shouldn't be any problems there. I just wanted, my first priority is at SUI so the squadron doesn't get shut down until all problems are fixed.
Appreciate the fact that you all came, even though you did not have answers. Thank you for at least showing up. However, at this point, we need answers.
And I will submit that up. Those who needed finance questions, want to see Oppenheim
I
for
just want to
that?
make sure my
Okay.
husband and you are, I'll get you
Okay,
phone number
perfect.
even versus email.
Okay, so I wanna make sure that that's handled, that's my top priority right now. If there is, as parents, just so you know, any parents that are here that are still that have not filled out SEEP, and I don't know if you're familiar with what SEEP is. SEEP closes at the end of the month, so please get it in for whatever encampments or special activities that you wanna do, okay? And it's more for encampments, but I want to make sure, because that's free money, okay? Well, I shouldn't say it's free money, it's Congress money, but it's earmarked to relieve pressure, and with that, you get uniform vouchers. So, some get uniform vouchers, it depends on where you are on the list. So, please fill that out if they are planning to go to encampment. Even if you decide that this is not for you, please at least do that for your cadets. Even if you're on a waiting list, do it. That way you get money's coming in, and it's a little less work, a little less on the pocketbook.